Hi everyone, Jackie here with Enjoying Life's Journey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another weekly paycheck to paycheck budget with me video. We're going to be budgeting out my husband's paycheck for May 24th. So this is Friday, right? So we are actually leaving for our cruise on Sunday. So we want to make sure that all of the bills that come out automatically at the beginning of the month are taken care of. So let's jump on the Excel sheet and make sure that we can do that. If you're not familiar with these videos, what I do is I go through the current week based on what we projected from the week before, and we're going to update anything that needs to be updated, and then we're going to go ahead and project out for the next paycheck. So basically, my husband's paychecks are for the hours he worked from the previous week. So this kind of helps us to see ahead the best that we can, and just make sure that we're on track to, like I said, pay our bills early if that's what we're trying to do, or on time, or for our savings goals or any financial goals that we have. So like I mentioned, we are going on the cruise this weekend, so we're going to be driving to California on Sunday and then spending the night in Carlsbad visiting Ricky's best friend, and then we're going to be getting on the ship on Monday. So I do have a few videos for you for next week that are pre-recorded, and they'll be out for you, and then when we get back you can expect to see our cruise vlogs coming out. But let's jump in real quick here. So base pay for my husband and his overtime, that was the amount that we had anticipated. So those are black now because this is money that is the official money. When we're projecting ahead, we make it red. So for the 31st, we're going to project the base pay, which is 40 hours, and then overtime. So I need to look at the calendar real quick. And so they did 10-hour days this whole week except for today is Friday. So my husband's only doing the 8 hours because the girls and my husband are getting their hair cut later today. The 10th here was that same amount of overtime. So we're going to go ahead and put the same numbers as the 10th here. So 462.08 is what we're going to anticipate. So that 84.90 that we projected to go to my husband's 401k this week was the amount that we got. So I'm going to make that black. And then you can see here automatically put in the 110 for next week. Now myself for the 31st, it's only going to be $5.38. And that automatically populates 15% of mine that will go into, we put it in savings, and then at the end of the month, whatever's in there, I make extra on the mortgage. So we're trying to pay a little extra on the mortgage the best that we can. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come down to what were the taxes we projected for this week, and then what were they actually. Federal was actually $0. But for next week, we're going to budget out the same as the 10th here. So we're going to say $24.81. This is black. And then state is actually $15.45. So a little bit better than we thought. And that's the thing I mentioned last week, that it's better to over budget for something than under budget, right? And then so for the 10th, we saw the state was 2018. So we're going to go ahead and budget that for next week. Medicare for this week was $13.68, and then that one was $17.87, and then Social Security was $58.48, and for that previous one was $76.39. Here for this week I had $361.01. Now the interest I lined up with the 24th, but that doesn't hit the checking and the savings accounts until the 25th. So usually what I do, I have, a few checking accounts. Our checking accounts earn 0.10%. Our savings accounts earn 2.2%. So what I do is the 25th, they all earn whatever interest is going to be. And then on the 26th, I actually take any interest earned from anything that's being thrown into the emergency fund. So when that number comes, we'll update it. So when you join me next week, we're not going to do it. We're not going to have a video for you on Friday, but we will do the 31st budget probably on Monday the following week. So we'll go ahead and let you know what interest we did get. But like I said, all of the interest just goes into the emergency fund right now until we reach the goal that we're trying to have. And that automatically, our emergency fund automatically populates 10% of mine and my husband's income combined. So that's what we have for those weeks here. Now, like I said, for this week, our main goal is to make sure all of our bills that still come out are covered. So our Insurance comes out on the 28th. Our mortgage comes out on the 1st, our YMCA comes out on the 1st, and then our water sewer trash comes out on the 10th. So we want to make sure all of those are covered, and I believe we have no problem doing that. So let's scroll on down here. So for next week, I do have some things automatically plugged in based on things that we've already spent on the Discover card, and we need to then pay that balance. So the family life insurance, this is that amount. So this long-term disability was $340. Now, let's see, that would be probably $444 for next week. So we have that covered, okay? So now I mentioned, when we projected ahead, in order for us to finish out our mortgage payment of the $1,028, we needed the $921, so that's good. So I've increased groceries. So if you've been following the channel, I mentioned that the goal is that groceries and eating out combined equal 10% of our income. So I mentioned, if we make a little less, we spend a little less. If we make a little more, we spend a little bit more. So that's what you're seeing here is I'm increasing some of the grocery money to make $400, and then at the bottom you'll see that I've increased the eating out money to finish out that 10%. Now the $1,367, that's what we took out of savings that we had put aside I think we put aside in February or March. We put aside that amount specifically for the cruise vacation. So we took it out of savings now. So we have that. So what we're doing is we're taking about $520 out cash, and that's what we can use at the different ports that we're going to on the cruise. The rest will stay in the necessities account, and then the cruise line, when you're on the ship, you just charge everything basically to your room, and then at the end they settle it up, and so we just put our card on file, so that will get settled up at the end of the cruise. So if you see here, I have an extra $9.36 because some of the taxes were lower than anticipated. So where is that going to go? We're going to go ahead and just bring that up we'll just put it on the dream fund for now. Okay, so the idea is that we have $0 right here. So if you watched last week, I did have about $30 in the dream fund, and that's what I moved it to the grocery money, and then from there we're kind of moving things around. So now for next week, we do need to finish out some things. So that's why I had this open here. So like I mentioned, from the savings account, from my income, from my percent here, my 15% here, is we're putting money back into the extra principal. So for this month, it's going to be $142. So I want to mark that because we're going to take it out of savings. Now I do this because I just want to follow where is the cash coming from. So it gives me a good idea that, hey, if I'm pulling from savings, I need to know why I'm pulling from savings, and things like that. So this 142 is actually going to come down here for the extra principal payment. So not only are we going to do what we originally budgeted of the 190, we're adding 142. So we're actually going to pay 332 towards the mortgage, which is going to be really cool. Like I mentioned, I already plugged in some numbers here ahead of time based on either trying to increase percents or based on purchases that we've already made. And let's come down here. What's left, this $529.44, is actually going into the dream fund. All right, so if you look here, we do zero-based budgeting. So we tell every dollar where to go. That doesn't mean we don't have any money. It just means that we're taking control of our money. So if we are paying off debt, if we're saving, if we're investing, whatever it is, we're telling it where to go, not just focusing on the bills that have due dates. When I used to budget, I used to do that. I used to say, oh, this has a due date. I paid that amount. I knew what the amount was, but I didn't budget grocery money. I didn't budget gas money. I didn't budget fund money. I didn't save any money. I blew every penny I made. And so this is just a good way to control it. So if you look at the bottom, now I have zeros. So that means, I've told every dollar where to go. The goal here for our dream fund is my friend Heather's going to be doing some work in the backyard. So there is a possibility that we will use some of the emergency fund savings. I know that's not ideal. And then we would be kind of like paying it back in the future months. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening, but we have set things that we want to have done, and she's probably going to do them in June. So we're probably going to take from that part of savings and put it back. And you guys, I'm trying to be honest with you and I share real numbers with you, and I share the real situation of what we're doing. So you have to join me in June, and we'll see how that ends up playing out. Ideally is, we want to be able to cash flow as much as we can. So I try to project out a couple months and see, okay, we could, if we pulled from that, if we pulled some money from that, we could definitely replace it within the next, 2 or 3 months. So it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But usually your emergency fund is not to be touched unless it's specifically for emergencies, but that's, my spiel for that. So you guys, we're looking good, leaving for the cruise. We have the money in the bank for all the bills. They're ready to go, so when they come out, I don't have to even think about it while I'm on vacation. We can enjoy vacation. Like I said, it is Friday, so we are finishing up doing the things that we want to get done. Tomorrow, Saturday, we will be packing up and making sure the house is cleaned. And then Sunday morning, bright and early, we'll be hitting the road to California. So if I can do any type of a live check-in with you guys, maybe from California, maybe from Catalina Island, maybe I'll give it a shot. Otherwise, there will be cruise vlogs, so stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.